Perfect. Thanks, Scotty, for that. Now, I know we've all kind of met. You guys are big supporters out there in Atlantic, and I don't want to bore you guys with information that you already know. So before I get started, initially I thought I would talk about kind of the importance of the insurance and then kind of go over the banks, the difference versus the banks. And then I wanted to take a look at the Atlantic numbers and just show you guys where you're at. I don't have a comparison of regions, but I can tell you, you guys are doing very well. When you look at regions under Invisalign, especially like compared to Ontario and Alberta, your penetration rate's just fantastic. So I guess with the group that we have, do you guys feel it's necessary for me to go through the process of selling, or do you think let's leave that one out for now? Because I also have some home and auto news that I want to touch on too as far as a new provider. So I want to spend a little bit of time on that as well as our opt-in channel. So you guys just tell me what you would prefer. Do you want me to keep the selling stuff out of it for now?
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I'm good with the selling part. If you want to just talk about the new stuff, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So
Anybody else on here? I don't even know who's on.
No, Tyler Vincent's on here as well, and Sylvie. So I think all you guys are pretty good with with the selling stuff at this time, as I can see. So that's great to see that.
Yeah, so I kind of figured that would be the case, and I'll go over that in a second, but just confirm with me that you guys, the ones of you that are at the computer, can you see my screen okay? I'll still talk about everything, but we'll touch on kind of where we're going here. Everyone can see okay? I'm just trying to make it big.
Yep, it's good for me.
Here we go.
Me too.
Okay. All right, so I won't spend too much time on this. This is generally a good slide just for agents and brokers understanding, you know, the importance of insurance and really why M3 introduced the SimplInsur product specifically, because we were able to negotiate some pretty awesome features, and because we're such a massive brand, I mean, in a sense that we've got Invisalign, TMAC, and Verico under M3, we were able to negotiate the best compensation in market with Canada Life. So we had definitely an advantage there. And so that's one of the reasons that, you know, we exist. We wanted to help you guys increase your client retention rate. We just found that the more of the secondary products that you guys sell, whether it be home and auto, or you guys maybe sell the creditor, not creditor, provide them with the credit cards. Sometimes, you know, if you add on the secondary products, that will increase your retention rate. So I think we went from about 8% to about 40 to 50 when we did our study. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you guys are well versed, but I did want to go over quickly kind of the differences between us and the banks, really, because these days the banks are being really aggressive with the creditor insurance. I'd say more specifically Scotia and TD. So I wanted to list off the main differences between our products. We know about the partial coverage. I'm not sure. I don't think we've had a meeting since I was in Atlantic in person. I think it was last year, wasn't it, Scott?
Yeah, when you guys went, it was a little while ago. I was with Barb and you last time, actually.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where I got stuck overnight in sleeping.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another story altogether.
There was a lot of drinking that night too. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but especially because you're in Atlantic Canada, I wanted to make sure that you know that our partial coverage is now as low as $250K, and we don't have a minimum mortgage amount in place. So even if you had a $300,000 mortgage and your client said, oh, it's just a little bit too expensive for me on a monthly basis, you could offer it as low as $250K. Okay, so that's an option. It used to be $350, and we lowered that to $250 because it just didn't make sense outside GTA and out west. So we all know about the some of the penalties, right? If we pay out a mortgage in advance of the term ending with the lender, then there can be a hefty penalty, right? So one feature that we offer is if we pay out that mortgage, we cover the full amount of the penalty and discharge fees, whereas the banks will actually cap that amount at 5% max. So there could be times where the client needs to come up with additional funds, let's say if their spouse passes away, just to cover those penalties. The other key features with us versus the bank are the portability and the ability to lower monthly premiums. So portability, lender to lender, any type of lender, because we now do the private mortgages as well as the AB lenders. And then we'll also move from property to property, so there's no need to requalify. Now, the ability to lower the monthly premiums, I want to make sure you guys are all aware of the details around that. So if you have a client that is paying down their mortgage early, you know that this is a client that is going to be making lump sum payments towards their principal. If they make 5% within a 1-year span, then they can call Canada Life and they will readjust their monthly premium based on their new mortgage amount. They'll just need a mortgage statement to prove that they've paid down, let's say by $20,000 in a 1-year span or whatever it may be. So there is a way to lower their premiums, which is not common, and it sure as heck is not happening at the banks, on the bank's end. So the other thing that we don't do, I mean, this is just kind of to arm your clients if they are going to be meeting. Some of them probably aren't meeting as much in person, but the banks can get quite aggressive if the clients decline the insurance. They'll keep contacting the clients, whereas we don't solicit the broker clients if they waive the insurance. That's your client. If they come back to you in a year and say, hey, I'd love to have the insurance now, I changed my mind, something happened with a friend and it just kind of opened my eyes, we can always offer it to past clients. And in fact, what we're going to be doing at any point in time, we can do this now. But in 2021, every quarter, I'm going to offer you guys through marketing, we'll do this, we'll take care of everything for you. So anyone in your client list that has declined insurance in the past, we can send an email to them that says, hey, we've got this great product on your behalf. And then they would contact you, and then we can get you the application at the current mortgage balance and start the coverage for the client. But then in that case, of course, you get paid, right? Not the banks or other competitors. Any questions on those features?
Mhm.
No? Okay. I feel like I'm just talking. All right.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. The last feature I would say is the joint client discount. We discount both clients by 20%. They don't even offer that at the banks if both clients take the insurance. So these are just some of the features. Just make sure your client is aware of if they've declined the insurance with you and they're going into the bank. I just think that it's a much better product than what the banks offer, especially with all the changes we've made over the last year and a half, I'd say. Okay, so let's take a look at your numbers as a region under InvestMI. You guys have a 28% penetration rate with over 134 active insurance units. This is by far the highest penetration rate of any region. So kudos to you guys. You really know how to sell and you understand the importance of the insurance for your clients. And so thank you for all the support. I mean, it's really quite outstanding. When I pulled these numbers, I was like, that's higher than last year. So whatever you guys are doing is working. Now I do have our top supporters here. Now I'm not sure what we're doing for our contest this year. I think what's going to happen, I'm not going to quote anything right now, actually, because we're still trying to figure it out. COVID kind of threw a wrench in that whole plan. So we're actually, did any of you guys get a survey from InvestMI asking about what you prefer? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So was there anything else you thought that might be a good option versus the contest or $5,000 towards a home reno?
Yeah, I saw that. I said travel. I want to travel.
I know. Well, we all do. I
said I'd take the cash if you're going to give it to me, but I'd rather travel.
Okay, well, you two at the top here, Jason and Chris, are this is great, guys. And then you got Sylvie's on the board as well, too. That's awesome.
Yeah, Sylvie does a great job selling, and so does Jason and
Chris.
Jennifer. Jennifer's not on the call is here, but yeah, you guys do a really great job. So whatever you're doing is working. I mean, I'm always willing if you guys have anybody new that joins the team and they want training, or if any of you guys want more training, I can do tailored training based on their needs or your needs. Like if you come to me and say, Kate, I want to incorporate this into my process. I do have selling tactics and how to incorporate it in. So just keep that in mind, especially because I'm at home. I have more time. I'm not as I'm not on the road as much, obviously, or really at all. Thank God, because my lease I would have been way over my kilometers by now.
Yeah.
So it kind of saved me, but
Thank God for COVID.
yeah, so just make sure. So, okay, so I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about all these tools that we've developed. I'm gonna drop off this PowerPoint for a second because I want to show you in person. I think it's not in person, but a little bit just live so you guys can see, because I'm gonna send this package to you.
This whole thing.
And if you're under mortgage intelligence, then I'll send this you the mortgage intelligence version. This is the Invis MI version. But what we've created is a reference guide. So we have client facing tools now. So if you guys, because you guys are selling digitally for the most part, is what we're hearing still. We've created all this marketing material. So we have a client flyer that you can send with the application. We also have a how-to on basically everything you need: compensation, how to pull reports in Boss. I'm going through this quickly here, but how to edit a deal in Boss. Now, one thing to note, I know they've launched 5.1. Now, as far as reporting and editing deals in Boss, we've had a couple little kinks since the launch. But 4.0 is always working for insurance. So just keep that in mind. If you ever have an issue with 5.1, for sure, send it to me so that I can document it and have it fixed on the IT side. But you can always go to 4.0 and it should still work as well. So I'm going to send you all this information as well. We've also got how to for hybrid mortgage deals. We've got how to do a top up, partial coverage. So all this material was created for you guys to make it a little bit easier, just to do your jobs. And so you're not, searching for how do I do this? How do I do this? But of course you can always contact me as well. So that's on the creditor side. Okay. Now, does anybody, before I move on to home and auto, does anybody have any questions on the creditor side or feedback on the creditor side? Is there anything you'd like to see? Because you guys are top supporters, I want to hear whatever you've thought of over the last, let's say 6 months to a year, or that you've experienced from clients. Are there any changes?
You were going to send out that report or do a report that just kind of kept us in the loop. Are you still going to do that?
The weekly report?
No, remember you sent me something to look at. I don't remember. It was just a tracking report for the home and auto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to be sending that out to you, and you actually will get to see, there's an individual view and then there's a team view. So you can see everything, and it's actually quite organized. Yeah, we're launching that probably in December or January. It'll definitely be 2021, but reporting is so huge. And this report, actually, I don't know if I still have it, the copy of it. Let me just see. Oh, this might be it actually, Chris. Consolidated monthly activity report. So this is just a sample. Yeah. So this is just a sample of Sally McSally, mortgage broker. So you'd have, and this is actually good timing. Thanks for asking, because I can walk you guys through this live. So you've got your summary of the creditor. So it'll give you a current month review of what you've done in the current month. And then it's going to give you the latest 12 months. So it's not based on January to current. It would be the last 12 months rolling. And then we do the same thing on the home and auto side. And what you'll actually be able to see on the home and auto side is quotes versus policy sold. So you'll know, okay, I've sold 4, I should have, $280 in my bank account this month, right? Just based on my referrals. And then if you scroll down, you see your monthly paid leads. So this is for both creditor and the home and auto. So you've got, what's beautiful about this, what I like about this, you not only have the boss deal ID, but you have the customer name right there. So you don't have to go into the deal, right? Who remembers their client's deal numbers unless you're amazing, and I wouldn't, but so yeah, this one, and then it goes down to the last 12 months as well for both creditor and the home and auto side. Okay, so you have a listing of everything that was sold. That's the one you're talking about, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, so that'll be coming out in December. That's definitely new and exciting. I think it'll be a lot easier for you guys to track because right now we don't have anything for home and auto other than, if a broker manually sends you, the insurance broker manually sends you a note saying, hey, we've sold this policy or we've tried to reach out to the client. Okay. So let's touch on the home and auto. I'm just going to make my screen big again.
Perfect.
Okay. So I wanted to just touch on home and auto. I know you guys are aware that we've had this in place for quite a while. There's 2 ways to refer in Boston. We'll go over that in a second because there is one, there's one way that we've introduced back in May. It's called the opt-in channel where you really pull the trigger. So we're constantly making changes on the home and auto side. And this is going to be a definitely great change, especially, and we're paying an extra $30 anytime you refer through this channel. So I'll go over that in a minute. But as of 2 weeks ago, we signed on a new provider. So currently we have 10 insurance companies that we work with across the country. And I thought it was important to go over Economical, which is our new provider, because they're available in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. It's actually only available in Ontario, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of it. So private mortgages, second mortgages, standalone rentals, monthly payments by credit card are accepted and no finance fees for monthly payments. So there's all these features that we now offer, particularly the top 3 here, like the private mortgages and the second mortgages. Getting coverage for those is huge. I mean, I've had to decline those in the past. So it's nice to be able to say, yep, send the client through. Let's, get them a quote. And then the standalone rentals is pretty awesome as well. So there's just some more options for you guys when it comes to your clients' needs. Okay.
Kate, when will you be getting a Newfoundland license?
I can check with Jamie Hewitt on that. I'm not too sure. Tyler, I will get back to you on that today. I'll send him a note right after this call.
Thank you.
Okay. No problem. I thought we were available there, but okay. Let me just confirm. Have you sent referrals through for
Yeah,
Newfoundland?
Ontario and New Brunswick.
Okay. All right. No, I'll check with Newfoundland. I thought we did have, I thought we were licensed there, but I'll have to check my list or check with Jamie on that. Okay. So let's look at the opt-in process. This is the new process in BOSS. Now, it's the same field. Do you guys know where you go in and you opt out of the home and auto?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's under the same tab in 4.0 or 5.1, but it's not a box. You go right to the request insurance button. So this is in those scenarios where your client said, yes, I'd love to have a call from an insurance broker to go over a quote. I need home insurance or whatever it may be. What happens when you hit this request insurance button is the file is actually transferred to our insurance broker. So they actually have the information up front on the client's home and all that jazz. So they don't need to spend as much time with the client on the phone. It maybe shrinks the call time by about 60% because they don't have to go through all that information that they normally would. Okay, versus then you guys just sending in the phone number and them calling, right? Oops, I forgot to click this. The other thing that we're doing, because it's a new channel, and guys, we're trying to get rid of the, I shouldn't say get rid of, but we're trying to phase out the other process that we have where you're sent an email in your inbox and then you have 3 days to opt them out. We're trying to get as many of our referrals through this channel, and then we can kind of dismantle the other channel because we want you guys to be pulling the trigger when your clients want to be called, okay? So this is the opt-out process. The opt-out process, just so you guys are all aware, it's the one with the box I just mentioned where you have to uncheck it if your client does not want to be contacted. So how this works, because we did change this in the summer, when you submit your deal to a lender, okay, 35 days before your expected close date, that's when you get your email now, because we found before it was way too early in the process. The clients were getting a little confused, thinking they were, their mortgage was approved or whatever. And so we decided to do it 35 days out because most clients would have their commitment by then and it's less confusing for them. So you receive an email at that point notifying that your customer will be contacted, and you'll have 2 options at that point. You allow the referral to proceed, or you opt out of the referral by unchecking the insurance referral to be sent, okay? And then there's other ways that you can send in the referrals, obviously through the phone number and then through the online forms. There's one for each brand, Invis and MI. So the links are there, and I'll send this to you guys after, but you may have this already. I know I sent this to Tyler the other day, but yeah, so there's other ways you can refer anybody that you know, friends, family, doesn't have to be a client, and you can still get paid on that. Okay, but this channel is $70. Okay, so it's your standard $70 per policy. Okay, any questions on those two processes? I know it can be kind of confusing with the opt-in, opt-out. No, did we lose Sylvie? Oh, she's just not in my. Oh, there's more people.
Yeah, there's Jonah. Jonah joined
No.
us.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. I'm just on mute.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Quiet. I hope it's not completely boring here. Okay.
Oh.
So,
Nope.
okay. So the other thing that we've done here, and guys, should be available in iDesk for you guys. You know, when you go into marketing, into the to customizable marketing pieces, we have a home and auto one pager right now where they'll add in your picture, phone number, the logo. So if you do want to refer a client or you know, they've asked for some information on your home and auto program, you can just send them this attachment. It's this one here right in the center. Oops, went too fast. One right here in the center. And then we also have processes, like all the different ways to refer. I'll send that to you guys as well. Marketing did such a really nice job on these, so I hope you guys utilize them because they're really great tools, and it actually makes us feel quite professional on this side. For quite a while, we were trying to put together our own marketing stuff, and so it was really good to have Anne help us out with that, and Kelly at head office. They're so good. So
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
yeah. So you guys have any questions so far?
Hey, just a heads up, we got till 1:35 is our cutoff on this. So
Okay, I'm
Just
just going to show one more tool that I'm going
No,
to send
that's
out
fine.
to you guys.
just so much you get cut off. That's
One
all.
more-
And then if there's any questions, we can do it. You can do it on a you know, email basis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I can
Yeah,
do
no,
these anytime.
Sorry about that, Kate. I just want to make sure we don't have the advanced version yet on my Zoom. So
No, that's all right. It's all good. Okay, so I'm going to send you guys out this quote calculator as well. This is a tool that's really helpful if you're talking about different coverage options with your client. Let's say you have a $600,000 mortgage and the client says that's too much for me. I want to do, you know, let's look at $400,000 coverage. So, or let's say 350. So I actually have to change the cells. 350,000. You would change that mortgage amount. And then all you have to do is look at the client's age range and it'll give you a rough quote. Okay. So now don't say your quote's going to be $63. Say, here's a rough idea of what you would be paying. Because of course the application is probably not going to print exactly like this, but it's very close to what it should be because it's based on the age and the mortgage amount. So now if you want to check on the disability side, because we're looking at covering a monthly mortgage payment, you would just change that cell C17, which is in green. Let's say it's $2,000 a month. Now you know, okay, this is how much it's going to cost for disability. So disability, obviously, we don't offer the partial coverage on, but it's nice. One of the pieces I was hearing of feedback was that they didn't want to have to print off the application because they talked to their client about the insurance in advance. And sometimes they don't have all the details to get an application created in Boss. So yeah, so this is a great tool. I'll send this out to you guys. I think I've sent it to some of you already. So sorry for the repetition if I have sent it out already, but you can shoot me later. Okay, I want to give you guys time to ask questions or give me feedback about whatever you want SimplInsur related.
we still got about 8 minutes and 40 seconds left. So just look
Oh, okay. I thought you said less than that. That's why.
No, it's okay. I just got the update now. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, just everything's going to be sent that you covered through all the calculators, the sign up link. Because I know you sent the CRM SimplInsur.ca whatever /2mi. But you got to register for that, don't you?
No, you don't have to register for that. No,
Okay.
you
It's
can just fill out your name.
Okay.
And
Yep.
yeah, and even if you want, Tyler, you can get, if your clients want to do it themselves. I mean, most brokers and agents just fill it out themselves and then submit it. But if you want, your client can fill it out as well. You can send it to them. They just have to fill in your name and your brokerage name,
Right.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you guys think we could do that would make it a better product for your client?
Yeah, any feedback from your clients so far too?
I just find it easy to sell, so it's fine the way it is. I know the price went up at some point, maybe this year, early or late last year, and I know how insurance works. There's different commission tiers. And I remember Patrick mentioning maybe they were going to go back to somewhere in between, because we used to be considerably better priced than everybody, but now I notice it's much closer and competitive. Is there any thought about bringing it somewhat or retracting the total commission? And do you know what I mean when I
You
say
mean
that?
lowering the premiums or
Yeah, exactly.
lowering so you mean last year that Canada Life increased their premiums?
I don't know what happened, but we were considerably lower. Like, I do a lot of First National mortgages, and they used to show their premiums on the commitment, because they would try to sell that as much as we would. And our premiums were always a lot lower and easy to sell to the clients, because then it's very confusing. They go to the lawyer's office, and then the First National life insurance is there. And I would just say ours is much cheaper. It's doing the same thing for you. And I would talk about the advantages versus one versus the other. But clients see that number, right? And they like the fact sometimes I lose clients because it's built right into their mortgage payment at First National, whereas it's a different transaction with us. So I just find our premium is now in some cases higher than First National's. And I remember talking to Patrick about this, and he said there could possibly be an adjustment back or closer down to where it used to be.
Okay, let me check with Patrick. Are you okay if I specifically use your name, Chris?
No, I don't care. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because I'm not aware of any sort of increase in premium.
There definitely was, yeah,
The-
for sure.
Is it possible? Do you know who's
Well, maybe it's possible First Nationals all went down.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Do you know who's taking care of their? I'll find it out actually. I'll find out. I'm wondering
Yeah.
if it's MPP that's taking care of their. Maybe they got better rates or something because it's First Nat.
I think it's all to do with how they pay the lender, or how they pay the broker, or how they pay the brokerage. Because you can do 9 times or 12 times or 7 times, or like the way you get paid out determines how high the premiums are, right?
Yeah,
At the highest level.
yeah, that would be the tiered model, right? The tiered compensation model, where if you hit a certain amount or your penetration rate's a certain amount, then they pay you more, right? But
Yeah.
it shouldn't affect the client premiums. I mean, maybe initially up front when they're negotiating, compensation versus the premiums, but I wasn't aware of any sort of adjustment on our side. And to be honest, I've had the same premium table since I started here. And that's actually what this calculator is based on. So but let me look into it, Chris, because I'll just reach out to Patrick and ask him and say, are we planning on adjusting that? Or I'll call John Teddy at Canada Life.
Maybe it had nothing to do with us. Maybe again it was First National making the adjustment.
Yeah. It could very well have been First Nat because of the volume that they do. And maybe they're getting some sort of a cut from the insurance provider. Maybe they were able to negotiate slightly lower premiums, but I mean, the reality is I think we've done our best to be at par with our competitors. There's going to be times where we may be a few dollars more, a few dollars less than other products, but I guess that's where in my mind at that point kind of goes to our features, with the portability, and do they offer the same advantages that SimplInsur offers? For that $5 less a month or whatever it may be. Hopefully it's not a significant difference. If it ever is, then please reach out, because I'd kind of be curious to see what we'll look into it. Yeah, I'll talk to Patrick about that, and I'll get back to you, Chris, on that.
Thanks so much, Katie. That's great.
problem. Okay. So that's all I've got, guys. I hope it wasn't, I hope I didn't bore you guys off. I know that, yeah, we've met a few times. Wanted to talk about the most important stuff. So
Well, thanks so much, Katie, for coming, and thanks everyone for joining us today. We're going to try and see if we can increase the group as we go along. And if there's any feedback you guys have, or any kind of topics or things that you want to chat about, or want to bring onto a round table on this Scott Talks every second Tuesday, please let me know, and I'd be more than happy to. But thank you all for coming today, guys. Jason, it's good to see you. Tyler, Chris, Jonah, and Sylvie. We'll see if we can get everybody a little bit more out next week, or sorry, 2 weeks from now. But again, thanks so much for coming, guys. And Kate, thanks so much for being on here with us today.
Thank you, guys.
no problem, guys. It was good to see and talk to you guys again.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming out. Have a great day.
One thing, are we going to have a chat?
You guys as well.
Sorry, is that Tyler?
Pat, you and I have a little chat now about that other deal that was talking about?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll give you a call because we're going to get cut off here in a second. So I'll give you a call right back.
Sure.
Okay, buddy. Talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon.
See you.
Bye-bye.